The Smith & Wesson Performance Center Shield Plus. Let's check it out. Smith & Wesson has just introduced their Shield Plus, and this is an upgrade over the original Shield from 7 rounds to 10 rounds up to a 13-round magazine. And it's a great addition to the Micro 9 double stack pistols. Today we're going to take a look at the Performance Center Shield Plus. This has a little bit of a longer barrel. There's a lot of other options and features you can get with it, including a ported barrel, fiber optic sights, and there's also a Crimson Trace red dot option. And the Smith & Wesson Performance Center pistols are a cut above. And so today we're going to take a look at the Smith & Wesson Performance Center M&P Shield Plus. That's a mouthful. Now we want to thank GetZone.com for putting all this together, a very strong Second Amendment friendly video platform. And we also want to thank Smith & Wesson for sending the Performance Center Shield Plus. Guys, it's really great to see that they're getting these guns so thin and yet able to handle the 9mm. And that's one of the big things about this firearm, is it's so freaking thin. I mean, just like the regular Shield, it was single stack. Now we have a double stack. This is 13-in-1 in the magazine. We're going to go ahead and make sure the gun is unloaded, and it is. 13+1, and you have an extended base plate, and then you have your standard 10+1, which is a flush base plate. And so that way you've got a smaller grip and yet you have a longer slide. And really the slide is easier to conceal. The grip sticking out makes it print. And so you've got a lot longer sight radius. You're going to have a little more velocity. And so this is going to give you just a few advantages and yet still have a larger firearm. And still have a very thin firearm. And that's the big thing about this for concealed carry. Now I brought out the standard Shield just because I don't have the Shield Plus, just the Performance Center Shield. And of course it does have the longer barrel. 4-inch barrel on the new Plus, and then we have a 3.1-inch barrel on the original Shield. Now of course 3.1 is what it's going to be on the Plus regular Shield as well. They are going to discontinue the original Shield model. And I can understand why, because it's almost exactly the same, except that it just holds more rounds. This is my wife's concealed carry, and she's been carrying this for years. She loves the Shield. But we're going to upgrade to the Plus, because it's just crazy not to go ahead and add 10 rounds instead of 7 in this flush fit magazine. Now they do have the extended magazines just like they do for the Shield Plus. You know, we can go with the 10 rounds, and again, we can go all the way up to 13 rounds, and that really makes a world of difference. You know, 13 rounds compared to 8 rounds with the extended magazine on the standard Shield. We have a 7-inch slide on the Performance Center Plus, and we're going to have just a 6.1-inch on the standard Shield or the standard Shield Plus. The standard Shield has been a great firearm, and guys, it's one of the most popular. A lot of that has to do with the price, but to get that added advantage of the rounds, it's just smart to go with the Plus. Now with the Plus, they've gone with a black finish on their stainless steel magazines. Here we have just the raw stainless on the original Shield. And guys, honestly, there is not a lot of difference in thickness with a magazine, but it makes a world of difference with magazine capacity. I mean, 7 rounds, 10 rounds, that is not much to sacrifice. Now here we have the original Shield long slide. This did come with the Optics cut. This is a Performance Center. It's really pretty much identical to the Plus except the trigger. And of course the magazine capacity. Now you can have the option to have the Crimson Trace already included. And it just fits really nice. And of course you have a mounting plate that you can just take off. And here it is, the mounting plate. You still retain your rear sight, which I love that. And guys, it co-witnesses with the red dot. And so that's a real big plus. So you don't need those higher sights. You got it lined up. So you've got those really bright sights, and then you've got that red dot. But really from this angle right here, it is almost identical. And really, if you didn't have the plus on the side, and if the grip wasn't a little bit thicker, you may not know the difference. And you do have an option to have a frame safety if you want it. Of course, I would rather not have it. So frame safety option, you have a mounting plate option, and then you have your ported barrel option. So it gives you a number of different things that you can choose from with the Performance Center. Now, a lot of guys have gone with the SIG P365, but the LX version. This is the 12 round. You can get it with extended magazines. But you can see it's a little shorter than the Smith & Wesson. But here at the grip, it's almost identical. So, you know, the SIG P365 is a little bit thicker, as you can see, just a touch thicker, but a very popular firearm. And one of the things that's beautiful about this thin slide is it's still capable of handling the 9mm pressures. Here we have a standard M&P 2.0. You can see how much thicker the slide is. And yet we're getting the same performance. Now, of course, this one is optics ready, but right here, we have 15+1 in the M&P 2.0, and then we have 13+1 in the Shield. The grip's going to be definitely thicker, and that's going to be harder to conceal, but look how thick the slide is compared to the Shield. It just shows you how far along that Smith & Wesson has come with their slide width. So when you bring out the 5906, I mean, it is a whole different world. And guys, we are seeing a lot of innovation in the firearm world. But another advantage of the Shield is that we can put in the 10-round magazine and we can have even a smaller grip. This is easier to conceal. So not only is it thinner, but it's also shorter. Yes, you only have 10+1, but you don't have that extra length in the grip. And again, you've got it super thin with the slide. Now we're going to bring some other comparisons out, but let's just look at the gun itself. It has a stainless steel slide with an Armor Night finish, which is kind of a black nitride finish. I really like the finishes on the Smith. They do a really good job. You have these scallops at the back, which makes it really easy to bring back. And then you have these really abbreviated scallops at the front. And they're not much, but they can allow you to just press check. This frame is really the same size as your Shield. Now you're not getting the Picatinny rail, but you can get the adapters that actually fit over the trigger guard, and those work really well. The texturing is a little bit muted from some of the earlier versions, and I like that, but yet it's still aggressive. It has that laser texturing, so it's going to be comfortable to wear, and yet when you need to grab it, you're going to feel like you've got something in your hand. The controls are the same on the standard Shield. You have your slide stop, you have your takedown lever. We have fiber optic red in the back, and then we have a fiber optic green in the front, and this is going to co-witness perfectly. Also, this one comes with the ports and a ported barrel. You can get the option to leave this off, and you can get the option to not have the slide cuts, and that reflects in the price. Now you have these ports on the slide, which correspond with a port on each side of the barrel. And this is an option. You don't have to get this. One thing about ported barrels is it'll help it to shoot flatter, but the reason it's shooting flatter, gases are coming up, and it's going to decrease the velocity of your round. And so that is one thing. It's between about 15 feet per second to 50 feet per second difference. So you might want to consider that. Yes, it's easier to control. You can get shots on target a little better, but it is something to consider. Now the trigger has been vastly improved. It has definitely a different design. It's more of a straight pull, but you have your safety here, your trigger safety, and you have to depress that before this will fire. And so we just pull the trigger. It's got some take up right here. Man, that is a crisp break. We have a trigger stop right here, but it doesn't quite meet it. It's actually stopping on its own. Let's look at reset. Right there. That is really fast. And here is the original trigger. You can see it just has kind of a pivot right here. But honestly, guys, the trigger pull, they're worlds apart. I mean, this is definitely a huge improvement. And we have our Lyman trigger gauge from Brownells. 4 pounds, 0.7 ounces. 4 pounds, 8 ounces. The weight on the new Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Plus, 1 pound, 6.2 ounces. We appreciate Fiocchi for sponsoring the ammunition, all made right here in the USA. Shooting some 115 grain full metal jacket. Stuff's very reliable. Also, we appreciate Lula Loaders for saving our thumbs. Yeah, I know I say the same thing over and over, but hey, it's just the truth. Now, taking the Performance Center shield down to the range. With that ported barrel, the first thing I noticed was there was absolutely no muzzle rise. A lot of times with small firearms like this, even though this is a little bit larger than your micros, you know, they are a little snappy. Being so thin, you don't quite have the larger grip on the pistol. But man, this shot so flat. I mean, that is honestly the biggest thing that I'm still thinking about. Because every time I pull the trigger, the sights just kind of tracked right there on target. The trigger is fantastic. I mean, it's a real crisp break, a little bit of take up, and then it just stops. I mean, it's really a great trigger. Much more improved, especially from the Gen 1 shields. Those triggers were not good. But with the Gen 2, it improved it. With the Pro, it is a whole new world. The trigger is just, it's incredible for a striker fire pistol. As far as the grip goes, the texturing on the grip, it's just solid. Not too aggressive again, just fits right in there. It doesn't slip, it doesn't move around, there are no hot spots. Even when I finish shooting at the end, I mean, I could have shot 500 more rounds if it wasn't so expensive. And we do appreciate Fiocchi for sponsoring our ammo, because I don't know what we would do without them. The fiber optic sights show up extremely well, which I knew they would. You know, that bright orange at the back, the contrasting green, that green glow, it just glows, and you can see the contrast to really keep your sights on target. There was no flame or anything, you know, there was no muzzle blast that was coming out of the sides that I noticed. Of course, I'm shooting during the day. All the controls, shield-like, I mean, it feels like a shield, even the Performance Center shields, you know, with the ported barrel. But with this Pro, it gives you a little more extra in your hand, but not a lot, but it's just right. I've not always been a big shield fan. My wife carries a shield every day. She loves it. But I'll tell you, this is a beautiful, beautiful firearm. I mean, it really performs well. And when I say beautiful, I'm not necessarily just talking about looks. I'm talking about the way it performs. It just has a great feel to it. Smith & Wesson, this was a home run. Now for disassembly, we're going to drop our magazine, check the chamber, and it is unloaded. Bring back your slide, and then bring down your lever. And now, right here, there's a little bit of a lever right here. It's actually a kind of a lime green, and you can take and pull that down. And once you get that in the down position, this will allow you to pull this off without pulling the trigger. Now you can pull the trigger, but this is really a great way to do it, and you don't have to worry about it. Then we just pull the slide right off. We have our recoil spring and guide rod. It is captive, and it does have the flat recoil spring. I like that. That does mitigate some of the recoil. And of course, we have our 4-inch barrel. But look at the interior of this firearm. It is absolutely perfect. I mean, it is beautiful. They do a great job of finishing these. Honestly, this is almost identical to the standard shield. Now, when looking at the two frames, the original shield's on top and the Plus is at the bottom. I mean, guys, it's the same design. I think they just re-engineered the grip a little bit and the magazines. I really think that the original shield will work on the Shield Plus frame. And guys, that's all you need to do to field strip for reassembly. Just drop in your barrel, recoil spring and guide rod. I'm going to bring over our slide and put it in the lock position. Now, when you put your magazine in, it will disable that lever. So push the magazine in, bring that around, your takedown lever, and then drop the slide. Now, I did want to bring out the Glock 48. And it's really comparable in size as far as thickness. The slide lengths are about the same, and even the grip is about the same as far as length. But one of the things about the Glock is it only holds 10 rounds, and we have 13 rounds now in the Smith & Wesson. Of course, you can get the Shield Arms S15 magazines, and this will hold 15 rounds. And I'm a big fan of Glock and been carrying them for years, and so they have their special place. And there are certain things, a lot of guys still carry these because, I mean, these are just great guns. But with the Smith & Wesson, you're automatically getting that 13 rounds in the same size without spending the extra money for the Shield S15 mags. Now, with the number of different handguns that are coming out that are double stack and yet micro 9s, I mean, we have a number of different ones. Of course, the one that started it all pretty much was the P365 by SIG. And then the Hellcat came in with 11 rounds, over 1 round over the SIG. And then we had the Glock 43X, and this one, of course, is without the optics, but it does come in an MOS version. And of course, it's only 10 rounds. It's a little bit longer. And then we have the new Ruger. This is just a great little gun, and this is probably the least expensive of the bunch. But just a great little Max 9 and very compact, and we just did a review on this. So there's a number of different guns that are coming out, and of course, once we get the standard Shield Plus, we're going to go ahead and compare it with these. But I just wanted to bring these out just to kind of give you a comparison. It is the largest of these, but it's definitely, with the option of the regular Shield Plus, we're going to get more in the ballpark to line up with these guns. Now, the price on the Performance Center pistols starts manufacturer suggested retail at $630 and then up according to the different features, which is including the optics plate with the crimson trace red dot, or the ported barrels, frame safety. I mean, there's a lot of different options you can choose from. And with the added round capacity, and yet the grip is just slightly larger. In fact, I honestly prefer this grip over the standard Shield. I think this is going to be a great option and a real competitor in the Micro 9 double stack magazine lineup. And you're getting Smith & Wesson quality. And again, we want to thank Smith & Wesson for sending the Performance Center Shield Plus, and also to GetZone.com for putting all this together. That is our backup channel. If anything happens to us on YouTube, check us out on GetZone.com. Guys, if you depend on a firearm for self-defense, it's really important that you don't go it alone. I've been a member of the USCCA, or the United States Concealed Carry Association, for over 4 years, and it really gives you peace of mind. The USCCA was founded to help you understand laws and self-defense education. They offer industry-leading training, and to me, one of the most important features is they offer self-defense liability insurance. They have 100% risk-free, money-back, bulletproof guarantee. I'll have an affiliate link down below in the description. And guys, when it comes to a self-defense situation with USCCA, you have a friend. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Taking the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield Pro to the range. Now taking the Elite Performance. Now taking the Performance Springfield Armor Hellcat and have been changed, like the recoil spring. I think that, okay. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long Shield, and it's going to replace the Shield as of April. Now I don't want to say that. Don't need to say that now. Yeah, I'll say that later. Yeah, I'll say that later. I'll say it later. You get an optics ready. Okay. You know, I love dogs. I love dogs. I can't stand a dog that just barks and barks and barks. I guess he's getting me back though for shooting and shooting and shooting. The Smith & Wesson Performance Center M&P Shield Plus. That's a mouthful.